Hi friends, it's Nargis here from Mom's the Word PK. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you're an old follower of mine. I am a mom of three based in Karachi, Pakistan, and I create content around motherhood, lifestyle, and productivity, including here on YouTube my experience with bullet journaling. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and where I'm sharing my 2023 bullet journal setup. And if you do enjoy it, then please make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a like and a comment below. So I had wanted to do a plan with me, but unfortunately I got incredibly camera shy and I was not able to create spreads on camera. And so we're doing a flip through, which I have down. Okay, so let's get into this flip through. The journal I'm using is the Yop and Tom journal, and in the description box below, I'll go ahead and I'll link in my review of this journal. I absolutely love it. It's great. I'll also add a link to my website where you can go and check out some really nice high definition pictures of it up close and personal. Okay, so let's get into the front page, the front cover. That is the paper pack that I used. I'm linking that down below as well. It's a free paper pack from, I think the website's called Crafts World or Crafters World or something, and I fell in love with the paper pack when I saw it. I think it's called Secret Garden, and I just loved it. I cut this out and I stuck it down. I love the whole look of it, and the leftover went on the other side, and it just sort of continues on. I had the washi tape that I have in the bottom up at the top, and then I peeled it off, and of course some of the paper came off, but I'm sort of forcing myself to build an acceptance, and I don't think it looks really prominent. So this is the nameplate section, so I have my name here and the date my journal is starting, which is going to be the 1st of January 2023, and then we'll see how long it starts. But I love that they have a journal start and end date. I find that really quaint. Okay, so we're moving on. This was on the left, another blank page. So rather than leaving it blank, I just went ahead and I used another piece of paper from the paper pack, cut it down to size, and stuck it in there. I cut it down to size just with regular scissors. I use this paper trimmer as well, actually, and I'm going to go ahead and list everything that I've used to create these spreads down below. But I also use this corner cutter that I found on one of these Instagram pages. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. And it's a 7mm corner. That's what I used, and it worked great. It fit the journal beautifully. So that's how that's looking, and I'm really happy with how it's turned out. So the decoration on this bullet initial setup is very scrapbook focused, and it's this initial setup that's actually going to be sort of decoration heavy. Going forward, the months, I'm gonna try and keep them as minimal as I can and just sort of focus on the whole concept of the blank page, which has so much value. So I had the sticker lying around and I just tossed it in, and I love the little thing on it is that don't cry because it's over, but smile because it happened. And I just find that such a great mantra to live by. So over here on the right hand side of the page, you have the key, which is already built in. I'd always used Ryder Carroll's original bullets, but this time I decided to do something different. So I have a square for my tasks, circle for my events, a triangle for my appointments, and then when they're started, they're crossed out. Completed, they're completely colored in. Migrated, they have an arrow. Deadline has a little clock on it. Important is a star, and then inspiration or idea is an exclamation point. So kind of similar to the initial concept, but just a little bit tweaked. And then for my colors, I haven't put my kids' names down for privacy reasons, but green is for my eldest, blue is for my middling, and purple is for my youngest. And then I have 3 highlighters, one for work, home, and kids. And these 6 pens are going to be sort of my ride or dies this year because I'm using them for pretty much all of my trackers and for pretty much everything. These are Muji Gel Pens in 0.5. I love gel pens. I find them incredibly useful. And the others are just regular highlighters that I got from a stationery shop, and they're sort of in pastel-y colors. And along with my black Muji pen and the basic stationery, that's what's going to be in my pencil case this year. So to finish off this page, I just added a couple of stickers and a little bit of this cutout that I got from a candle box, and I just thought it matched the theme, which is basically, gardens, flowers, and all that prettiness. Okay, so we're getting into the index page here, which is thankfully built in, and I've just completed it with some washi tapes. I cannot for the life of me remember where these washi tapes are from, so apologies for that, but they're really nice and they fit the theme, so that's perfect. So there's lots of white space in these spreads, and I'm absolutely okay with that. And I just want it to be as functional as possible. Okay, now it's time for the 2023 cover page, which is like the highlight. I love this page because it was because of this actual piece, like scrapbook paper style thing, that I chose this paper pack. I love it. I think it's super cute. And I just added a sticker that I got from a sticker pack that I bought from IKEA years ago. And I added, everything is titled with the stamps that I ordered from Daraz, which I will link down below. So for my quote of the year, I just used a quote that I found from Jane Austen in a sticker pack that I had, and it says, "It isn't what we say or think that defines us, but what we do." And I really liked adding that in there just because I want this to be an extremely actionable year for me, and I feel like this will sort of inspire me and fuel me forward. Okay, so now we're moving forward to my why page and my word of the year. Okay, so let's talk about why. So as you can see, one thing to mention is that it's the first time I'm really using these stamps, and so I've been a little bit aggressive with them, but I think it adds character. Okay, so the why. Why am I using this bullet journal? Why do I want to bullet journal? So I started bullet journaling a couple of years ago. I think my eldest, who's now 11, was maybe 2-3 years old or something. I can't really recall. But it's been on again, off again. I've come to it. I've come back. It's been sort of a love-hate relationship. Well, I would not say hate, but definitely, me sort of establishing what I want. So there's the creative side of it, and I love that. And then there's the functional side of it, and I love that as well. And I realized that I can have both in the same book because I was always trying to do either or. I struggled, but I know that now that I can actually have minimalism and creativity in the same journal. And me being minimalistic does not mean that I'm not being true to myself, and vice versa. So my why is focused on the fact that this journal is here because I want it for planning. I want it for introspection. I want it to empty my head and put my soul on paper. And that's how it's going to serve me this year. And hopefully I can remain consistent. Okay, now we're talking about the word of the year. And my word of the year is thrive. So again, this page is just decorated with the paper pack, and I'm really happy with how it's turned out. It's simple. It wasn't complicated to put together because I'm not an artist in the drawing capacity, and so this worked for me. And thrive is my word of the year because I'm very happy in my life, but I want to use 2023 to really go beyond living. So that's my word of the year. Alrighty, we're heading into reflections and goals. So I haven't filled this spread out yet. We still have a couple of weeks left in the year, and I haven't quite gotten to the mindset yet of reflecting on the year and planning for next year completely, so we'll get there. But here I'm just going to write down my reflections for 2022, and then my goals are divided into personal, family, and work. And yeah, I'm just going to have a nice little session to write them down and then create a journaling video on how to mind map an action plan to meet set goals. Okay, heading into the future log. Had a little bit of a wonky issue with the stamp, but whatever, it's fine. So the future log is one of the core methodologies in the bullet journal, and I love it. I cannot use a horizontal future log, though. I have to have it vertical. I don't know. My brain just works that way, I guess. And so I have listed out, I have 6 months on this page, on this double page spread, and then I have the next 6 months on the next double page spread. And I can just use this to sort of add in like upcoming content, birthdays, upcoming events, things that will, happen, and I haven't planned for the month ahead. So, I haven't set up the month, so I have a space to jot everything down. And every journal that I use will have 12 months in it just because that makes sense in my head. There's 12 months in a year, and so, yeah. All right, let's go into the ideal day. So this spread is sort of a little bit, it is much because the ideal day that I would like to create for myself with my 3 children has no screen time, and it has, like really healthy meals, and everyone's on top of everything, and life is like supremely perfect. And that's the day I would love for us to achieve. And we have achieved it once or twice. It's not constant because I'm also, I also live in a joint family system and we have lots and lots of things happening at home. But I would love if I could try to maybe have more of these days in the coming year. Okay, on to the mood tracker. So I have created these spreads like mood trackers and different trackers because in this book because I want a space for me to document in everything so I can have the whole year in one spread and I can see how I've grown throughout the year. And all of these spreads, like the ideal day, the mood tracker, all these trackers are only going to remain in this first journal. I'm not going to recreate them in every single journal as the year progresses because I do use more than one journal a year. This is just for me to have an overview of the year and I can just see how my mood fluctuated, how I felt, etc. And I feel like it would be great. It would be a great way to get to know myself better if I'm able to maintain this. And so the moods listed are, all the usuals: excited, happy, sad, calm, tired, etc., etc. And I can just sort of color it in accordingly with those core pens that I already showed you. Okay, now we're going into body statistics. So this year I have been really, really good with taking care of my body and my health and getting back into my workouts and my nutrition post-pandemic. And so I have been taking my measurements regularly and I wanted a place or a chart where I could just list everything together in one space. And these are the measurements that I look into and I'm just going to write them down and just have that on record because this is just me getting to know myself. It's me creating memories and it's also me building a better understanding of my body. Okay, we have workout schedule on the right-hand side. It is the Year in Pixels design, just like the mood tracker, and I have all my different workouts or workout pairs listed. So cardio, strength, and yoga, and I can just color in whatever I have done on the day, depending on what I've achieved. Next up, we're looking at my period tracker. So I use the Flow app to sort of track all this information, but I also wanted to have a visual representation in my bullet journal where, again, everything is all, put into one place. So I have the days of the week, the days of the month on the left side, and then the months of the year across the top. And I've realized here that in my symptoms, I wanted to write headache and I'd written heavy instead. So yeah, mistakes happen. That's just part of life. But I have H for headache and F for fatigue and C for cramps. And then I have a heavy, medium, or light flow. And I can just sort of color that in, write the letter in, and at the same time track when it's happened in the month. So I have that awareness. And again, it's just about being aware of your wellness. On the right-hand side, I have my spending tracker. And again, every month I'm going to have an individual spending tracker for the month where I'll log everything and then I'll just funnel that information in here at the end of the month with the total amount so that I have an awareness of my expenditures. Okay, on to recommendations and books read. Books read title is a little bit unclear just because of the print of the paper underneath. But here in the recommendations is where I'm going to basically dump in anything that people recommend. And this is a spread that I would definitely add to a new journal when I would start it is, books, podcasts, YouTube videos, whatever. And then books read, I'm just going to log down all the books that I hopefully get through this year. I don't know. I got an e-reader last year or this year, I should say, and that's helped me a ton. Okay, we have movies, shows, YouTube, and podcasts. Again, all these things I love tracking. I am a huge media consumption person. I had intended to have a media consumption journal this year, but I'm going to do that in my bullet journal. So here I can log everything. Okay, on to 23 things in 2023. I have some things here sort of blocked out because it's personal work goals that I'm hoping to achieve and we'll see. But yeah, it's just different things. These aren't goals as such, but these are like bucket list or wish list items. Like it would be great if I'm able to achieve these, but it's not necessary. I shouldn't put pressure on myself, but it's just little things like, going out for breakfast by myself, having a weekly date with my eldest, just things like that. And then I have 12 healthy habits over on the right hand side. So the concept of the 12 healthy habits initially was that I wanted it to be chronological. So like the first one I would do in January and so on. But now I've basically just listed 12 habits that I can do throughout the year and I can pick one a month to sort of focus on. So like, working on my pelvic floor was one example, or just different things like eating lots of fruits and veggies, or, making sure I don't miss my vitamins. And so one month of the year, I can focus on one of these tasks and just sort of complete it. And yeah, hopefully that'll help me grow more in my physical self. On to the final spread of this whole yearly setup. It's the monthly moments spread. And this is the least sort of like filled out spread, in the sense that I wanted to leave it blank and just sort of allow myself room to breathe on it. So every month I will be doing a monthly recap and a check-in at the beginning of the month. So here I'm just going to list 3 highlights and then add in like a picture or maybe a little bit of a scrapbook thing, like ticket stub or something like that. Something that's memorable and iconic from that month. And again, I have all 12 months in one space because I would like it all together so I can just sort of look back, and it's a great way to memory keep and show gratitude as well as other things. And that's it. That is the entire setup, and these are all the different spreads. Now, it can be a lot. I mean, you really do not have to start your journal like this with so many collections. This year, I am including more collections than I did last year, just because I would love to be able to track things and pay attention to my mood, my mental health, and my physical self, and just sort of see how things are going. And my why was really important to me as a place to come back to when I need to be grounded. But it's completely up to you what you include and how you include it. And that's the beauty of the bullet journal, is that it's your journal. It can be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. So this brings me to the end of the flip through. I hope you guys enjoyed the spread and the setup and this whole experience. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and check out the description box where I will have all the materials that I've used listed, as well as all my social information. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram for more content, as well as subscribing to the website. I will see you guys next week with my January 2023 bullet journal setup, which will definitely be simpler than this. So I hope that works for you. Do tune in and check it out. Hit that like button, hit that subscriber button. I would really, really appreciate it. Okay, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.